Talk to Uncle Drummer Show.
What's happening, people? It's your boy Uncle Drums. I'm in the place like Streatham, representing for all my Streathamites. I've got the King, Nat Nye. How you doing, sir?
Blessed, man.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. Pleasure to be here.
And I've got the Empress, Golden Blue. How are you, miss?
Greetings. I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. Very happy to be here. Also,
I'm happy to have you. They've come on the show once before, but at that time we never had visuals, so you know everything up to date now. We've got visuals and everything. So, yeah. Alright, so people, we're going to jump into this interview with the King and the Empress right now. So, first question I want to ask you lot is, when did you first start writing poetry? And what made you feel the need to express yourself via that way?
okay. I think the first time I started writing poetry was probably from a really young age. The first time, I can't exactly remember, but the first time I remember winning an award for poetry, I think I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I went to Claudia Jones Saturday School, and it was a supplementary school, so we did a lot of different kind of creative things, and you know, they allow the children to express themselves in that way. So I think just coming from that kind of a background encouraged me. Yeah.
Got you. And you, Nat?
First time, I can't it's hard to say when exactly, because you know when you look through your papers and oh my, it was right from then. But like consciously for spoken word, like I started 2009, late 2009.
Okay, so
and the reason why, or that was the question.
Yeah.
The reason why was to I wanted to be the master of my own words. So I was doing a lot of acting at that time, and I went through, I think around that time was the beginning of, you know, I was seeing certain things of playing stereotypes, and it just basically hit a certain point of doing poetry that was like, I got to be the master of my own words. I can't be playing stereotypical roles that I find detrimental to my soul and to my people that may see this, and to other people that may see what it means to be a person of colour playing a particular role, you know. So I was like, I have to be the master of my own words and put out a positive message.
Definitely. Alright, love that. Alright, next question I want to ask you is, what style of poetry do you use? Is it freestyling, rhyming?
I don't tend to freestyle. If I'm freestyling, it's usually in a setting that's not specifically for poetry necessarily. I think it's a difference between performing and then just having a space of creativity where you find words. So yeah, I think my particular style of poetry is from the both through just freestyling on my own with other people, also purposefully writing, and then when I go to perform, it's a mixture of those two things. But I perform things that are original, that I've written, and that tends to come to me from loads of different places and avenues.
Gotcha.
The process of writing. Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Because you forget.
I'm observing you. But my style of writing. I think there's just like as Golden Blue was saying, is that
because your ones sound like a bit of like a rap.
Yeah, it's definitely rap influenced. Like I listen to hip hop every day. I love hip hop, but hip hop is structured, like the bars. You have to fit the syllables into the bars, right? Like, whereas poetry can be free form.
Okay.
So mine is free form, but it fits into certain patterns. I write rhymes and patterns, and the syllables are all into patterns. So how that comes, like Golden Blue was saying, is that, you know, it can for me. Something deep might be said now, and I'll be like, okay, I've got to store that in my head and write it down. So it can happen at any time, any literal time. And then, like I said, when it comes to freestyling or whatever, if we're in the mode and there's a beat or something going around each other, a jam session, then we might just, oh my days, that line, so I'm going to write that down and put it in something later. That's how it works.
Just alright. So, this one's for both of you. What makes a good poem in your eyes?
What makes a good poem? That's really hard to say. I think what makes a good poem is the person who's expressing what they've got to express. I think it can happen in many ways, whether it's free form, whether it's written, whether it's, you know, research, whether it's, you know, freestyle, it's about expressing. So with any kind of form of expression, it's down to the person. And for me, what makes that good is sincerity. So for me, whatever you're expressing, if it's from a sincere place, if it's from you, if it's about you and what you feel, what you think, you know, wherever your imagination takes you, then that's good. That's all good.
Got you.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the point at which is most truthful. It comes from the heart, the sincerity. But also in that, when something comes from the heart, you're going to put your best and you're all into it. So it's not necessarily like, there's all different types of poets and different types of artists in general, right? And it's about who you are. So like for me, like my poetry, for example, is very intellectual. It's very
definitely.
What's the word? Cognitive. Like you have to really think about it. Like there's layers upon layers and stuff like that. And I don't necessarily think that's better than somebody that has simple rhymes. Like in the technical, to put it technically, it's got some things are simple, but it's very potent. And also the way it's delivered, the way it's performed. So if it's performed in a sincere way, it's performed with your heart, and I'm not worried about the audience, not worried about making them clap and stuff like that. We're just putting our soul in there. Yeah,
so it's about, you're saying it's more about the energy.
The energy
that the person brings forth.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd say like, when you hit a certain level now, of who you are as an artist, then like, it's subjective.
Yeah, yeah.
But before that point, I do believe it's objective. You know, you have to craft in your art.
Okay. What are some of your favourite poets that you've grown up listening to or you're inspired by?
I think for me, definitely people such as, it's not necessarily poetry per se, you know, it's the written word for me. And the rhythm of the written word and the energy of the written word. And for me, definitely writers like Alice Walker and Maya Angelou, big inspirations. I think my mother is a big inspiration. She was part of a group called Lioness Chant back in the 70s, 80s times, ran a lot of protests and things like that.
Big up, mummy.
And yeah, so definitely a lot of the people that inspire me in poetry are a lot of people in the conscious community that have been around for years doing loads of things. People like Best Kept Secret and, you know, Amanoir, Tugstar, all these people, Oneness. There's a lot, it's a whole community of people that inspire me.
Yeah.
And you know?
I'd second that.
Just agree with everything.
I say, because like obviously you have your big inspirations like the international global superstars or whatever, but the superstars in our local need to big up too, because we go to events and somebody will do something like earlier in our career or even up until now, somebody will do something that's like, it's amazing, and you're like, right, I gotta go home, right, or so I gotta, you know, yeah, basically there'll be people that will inspire you like crazily, right? And that's true inspiration, you know. So people like Golden Blue was saying, and I'd add like David J was one massive inspiration to me, and El Crisis and Shaka Campbell. There's loads of people. Like, just check us out, man.
All right. So what was it like for you, like the first time touching the stage? I know you probably wrote some stuff in your bedroom or whatever, but what was it like that first time touching the stage and doing your first performance? How did you feel? What was the energy like?
I can't exactly remember my first performance, but I'll go with the first time that I've consciously really gone into the poetry scene in London, and that was at Uncle Errol's Poetry Jam a couple of years ago. And I remember it was just an open mic, and the way how it was.
Oh, Uncle Errol.
Yeah.
Baldhead Errol. Yeah. Big up. Errol.
And and on the way it was set up was that each poet, sometimes they'd do a rounds where it wasn't like you get up and introduce each poet. They're just scattered around the room, and then, you know, someone will get like, you're next. So from whatever part of the room, someone will just pop up and start performing. And I, you know, got up and did my thing, and I think I felt like I was shaking. I was so nervous. I felt, you know, like I couldn't breathe properly, like I was choking. And it takes a lot to express, I think. You know, when people see you and they assume you're confident, you've got these words, you've got this skill, you've got this talent. But yeah, I was extremely nervous, and I think oftentimes I am. When I'm around small groups of people, especially people that I know, I'm a lot more comfortable. You know, that makes sense.
Definitely.
But yeah, that first time, it was petrifying.
And the young Malcolm X, how did you feel when you went up on that stage?
See, my thing is,
it's completely different to me.
Like, I did a lot of acting before that point.
And
I never really got that nervous feeling. I got the butterfly feeling, but it was more like an excitement, like, yeah, I'm gonna go at it. Like,
ready.
So when I sort of see the spoken word, like, I got inspired to just, I wrote something out. That's how, wow, this can be performed. That's how I thought. So I was like, yeah, well, next stage, the next open mic, I'm gonna go on there, jump on there. So I went on there now, and with the paper in hand. And I couldn't believe it because I looked down and my hand was doing this. I was doing something. I don't know what I was doing. Like, and so I started performing now, and I'm talking about all sorts of serious things. Society is all bad, and I'm smiling like, yeah, society is bad. And like, I could just like, what's going on?
Yeah, you couldn't control your emotions.
Couldn't control. I was nervous as hell, and it hit me like when I was like, afterwards, I was like, man, what's going on? So it happened 3 times after that point. And I was like, no, it can't happen again. You have to go on stage prepared. And
I think that happens to everybody, because I remember when I done my first show, I was proper nervous and I didn't have no help. You know what I'm saying? And you sit down there and you're thinking there's thousands of people out there listening to me. And then when I go back and listen to my show now, I sound like, yeah, this is Uncle Drummer. And then you got to go back and prepare for next show to make sure that you don't sound like a robot. But it's about that first push. Get yourself up there.
The sooner the better.
Because that's courage as well. It's like, as well as it being nerves or whatever, it's you just making that decision. I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna get through it anyway. Because you know what I mean. I finished the poem. I'm sure you finished your poem.
I finished it.
You know what I mean? In that kind of sense, where you're just going, putting your foot in the water and just going, let's see.
All right. So we're gonna close this one up. So, what kind of advice can you give to any young poets or anybody that wants to do music, entertainment, anything in life? What kind of advice can you give to someone you've walked that road?
My advice would be, ask yourself what purpose are the things that you're doing serving? What purpose are they serving for you? Because some people go into this art form or any art form with specific goals, and some people go in with no goals whatsoever. And it's not really about it being a wrong or a right way to do it, but for example, I've got a lot of friends who are a lot more on kind of, right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to become successful, I'm going to make money out of this, and I'm going to have a career in this. Whereas for me, I've always been quite hesitant because, you know, for me, I don't necessarily want a career necessarily in poetry. It's for me, and I feel like I don't want to necessarily give it away to other people. And I've got other things that I'm doing that follow in terms of money making lines. So my advice would just be, think about what it is you're doing it for, because that way you can prepare yourself. If you really want to take poetry to the next level, then you're going to need to not just have the skill in terms of honing your craft as a writer, but also you're going to have to think about business wise, about a business plan, about how your image, about how you're going to put yourself out there. And I think a lot of people have fallen because they had the aspirations of that, but they didn't put those things in place to kind of secure them. So that would be my advice. But also just be free to express yourself, you know, express yourself. You're growing as a person, you're changing as a person, so maybe what you were writing at 14 is not what you're going to be writing when you're 21, is not going to be writing when you're 33, so, you know,
I'd add to that and say, be alive, like, and that is in all sense of the meaning, like, be alive to yourself, your inner mind, and everything around you. Like, we as artists, we're affected by what is around us and what is going on in our own inner and outer worlds. We need to be alive to both of that. You find a lot of people today in this society is kind of become zombified in terms of we're locked away, music on a train, not to interacting. But as an artist, it benefits when you're like, what's going on here? What's going on in the streets? What's going on around?
People
being
watching,
attentive, being present. And then I'd also say, you know, like, if this is what you want to do, if this is what you really want to do, then you have to hone your craft. You have to hone your craft. You have to have a mentor or mentors. Like, they don't necessarily, no, actually, you need people that in your life that are doing this as well.
Definitely. And
people afar, like, who can inspire you, can learn from, and you hone your craft by doing a whole lot of research and studying into people that are gifted with words, that can do certain things with words. And also, there's two elements to spoken word. There's the writing, of course, but then there's also performance, and both need to be honed.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. All right.
2 pennies.
love that knowledge that you bestowed on the listeners and the viewers. Is there anybody that you want to big up, send a shout out to?
I want to send a shout out to the Almighty Creator. Give thanks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes life just, you know, it can really take you to a certain place, and you know, any time is a good time to give thanks to Almighty. So I'm going to shout out Almighty Father, give thanks and praise.
I second that.
We got all second that.
Second that. What about you, Nat?
I want to shout out my girlfriend outside.
Stella
Belgam.
Empress Stella.
Of the Black Study Group. And my brother, Lawrence Nye. And all the black poets out there, all the poets that are not also black, poets that are just striving hard to put out a truthful message. Shout out to all of you lot.
Alright, before we cut off, is there any leads you want to give out in case people want to get in contact with you and want to reach you? Yeah, so basically, actually, this is very important. Very important. It's essential, this bit. Everything else was like
that was essential too.
This is the pinnacle. This is the point. This is the point where Usain Bolt passes the finish line. This is that exact point. I've got a website. Exactly. Point to the website. www.natnye, which is NAT NYE, like New Year's Eve. .com. natnye.com. I've got my EP on there. It comes with a free e-poetry book. Like we've been saying, you know, like us, our existence is dependent on the community. Definitely. And we write and perform for the community. Therefore, the community needs to support us. We need to support each other, you know? Definitely. Otherwise, we don't exist. Definitely. And then you have those poisonous other artists that influence. I wonder why our children are... That's why. So support us. Support us. So natnye.com. Support. What about you, Blue?
I'm on, you know, Book Fierce.
Book Fierce.
Golden Blue with 2 L's because they make me change my name. I'm on Twitter at Golden Co. I don't have much stuff online. If you've got a studio, you know, and you want to help me to produce my music and art and poetry before any other projects, then holla. I'm open. Trust me.
I want to say respect. Let's put our fists together. Respect for the love. And I love the energy, and thank you for coming in today. Pleasure. Pleasure. Big up listeners and viewers. It's always love. Uncle Drums, the Empress, Golden Blue, and Mr. Nat Nye. Love. Peace.
Love. One love.
Greetings, everyone. This is Golden Blue on the Uncle Drummer Show, and I'm about to just spit some couple poems. So this is called Teeth-in Set of People. You're just a teeth-in set of people, man. You don't give a damn. I'm trying to go right and you're stealing from my left hand. Bombarding me with adverts advocating name brands, and every time they try ignore it, I try ignore it. They just... I need to start again.
No, just carry on. Whenever I won't stop it. You just carry on.
Cool. You're just a teeth-in set of people, man. You don't give a damn. I'm trying to go right and you're stealing from my left hand. Bombarding me with adverts advocating name brands, and every time I try ignore it, they just up their game plan. I'm on benefits that don't benefit, working 10 times harder than someone in full-time employment, and I would even clean toilets, because as my dad says, it's the person that cleans the shit that truly knows its smell. And I've been shat on and spat on by this system full of cracked on, so I won't bury my head, legs or arms in the sand, because I overstand. You're just a teeth-in set of people, man. Rob me of my aspirations. No job, no home, continuous aggravation. Your incompetency is bothering me. Eternal lack of sunshine, peak times be. Rob me of my determination. So now all I can do is smoke dope and drink too. But the tonic for my gin is £1.79 in the corner shop, and don't think I can't afford it, because I can. But the point I'm trying to make is, you're just a teeth-in set of people, man. But why am I surprised? You've been consistent with your lies, raping my ancestors to steal their knowledge and gold, painting murky watercolours of history. How the Queen has diamonds on her head is a mystery. The British Museum displaying foreign artefacts. Are they yours? Where'd you get them from? How about you give them back? You stole enough from the pockets of your citizens this year, so jam. Just a teeth-in set of people, man. This government's on the real hustle. They've got free education to poison your brain, NHS drugs that drive you insane, consumerism made from 100% pure pain, but the people are content, so aren't we the ones to blame? That poor boy was in care, now in jail for murder, what a shame. The BNP don't want me here, so I'll go back to my country with crystal waters clear, where coconuts drop on grains of sand fair, and the climate won't dry out my thick afro hair. Singing tunes of ancient bands, but in reality, what happened to my land? Oh right, I remember. You're just a teeth-in set of people, man. Okay, I'm just gonna go through it. So this is, yeah. I'm stagnant, so mosquitoes breed. They be breeding at a faster speed. Carry in every disease, infectious to my body. Tropical and mysterious, this virus is serious. As my mind moves, my body's numb. Need some help, is there anyone? That's why I got to keep on moving. 'Cause this here path that I'm now choosing is the same thing that's got me losing. My motivation to keep moving. That's why I got to keep on moving. 'Cause this here space makes me feel empty, and if no one can hear my calling, maybe movement will resurrect me. Thank you. This is one that I've just been working on recently, and it goes like this. Poetry is my revolution, freeing me from delusion and confusion. Poetry is my revolution, freeing me from delusion and confusion. I've had enough, oh yeah, I've had enough of it. Giving up on fallacies of politics. Ain't got no time to analyse the box of tricks, 'cause I don't see boxes, just the oneness that exists. I'm a poet who loves the rhythm of the beat drum echoes. I hear my ancestors calling me. I'm blessed with boundless creativity. My melanin, my roots, my heritage runs deep. Poetry is my revolution, freeing me from delusion and confusion. Poetry is my revolution, freeing me from delusion and confusion. Yeah.
Yeah. Nat Nye, spoken word, meta scientist, meta artist, and I've got a poem right here for the police brutality that seems to be plaguing us globally. Explain the erratic actions of an agitated people. Steam this food for thought. Reasons why the anger simmers. Ready to boil over, they administered a Rodney King-style beating to a 16-year-old girl. Turning the heat up, the place inevitably got burnt. Check the shocking statistics. Profile of a criminal. Here stands a black man. Under Section 60, 37 times nationally more likely than a white man to get stopped and searched. Well, let's stop and search for the reasons why. Institutionalized racism is rife, more dangerous than ever, sophisticated. It updates with the times. It's systematic. It's obvious when you can see the statistics. Lee Jasper's analysis. At current rate, we're still at least 150 years away from genuine equality. It cuts deeper than the skin, though. When a white working class... It cuts deeper than the skin, though. When the white working class bleed, they feel the pain of the black man. For 23 years, the truth been buried in the boroughs of Hillsborough. Explains why over 1,000 deaths in police custody has equaled to 0 convictions of any officer since 1969. But what we see is police occupation prevalent in poor places, prison perception positioned in the mind's prism, prepped for a life of revolving doors. But if you fought to walk on top of, not in off the streets that breathes from the lives it eats, you still get treated like it should be. They ought to teach in biology class that our class will more likely experience the life of a nucleus inside of cells with steel membranes. I strain my brain and wonder, whom do they protect and serve? Operation Bohan. Ian Puddocks felt it. Foot soldiers follow orders on the beat, looking for someone to beat on. They be the batter in baseball the way they got their bat on. Knocking the block of them boys off the block, heads roll because they roll like James Bond. They got a license to kill with devilish thrills. They use Satan's trident, the pool stick used to stick hell to the black community. Game up, black boy, use a black ball blasted into the hole below the green. It's that pool of blood that satisfies savages scavenging to be fed by death. Mark Duggan, another victim. Though they initially claimed that he shot the police, that was about as believable as a British man under the guise of making tea committing samurai-style suicide during a drugs raid. R.I.P. Smiley culture. We know, even in America, the only time man is letting shots off at 5-0 is on Grand Theft Auto. Though they found a bullet, evidence that he pulled it to inspection revealed it, fired from police issue. No wonder, the way they spray bullets, they must be gardeners. Their shells be scattered seeds. Explain how a gun in a sock in a shoebox sprout like a flower 5 meters away from a murdered man with no forensic evidence of him ever holding it. The only explanation possible, the police must have planted it. Horrified is not enough. These cases are not restricted to one-offs. It's 2015 now and we still feel the pain of the bullet wedged in Cherry Gross's spine. R.I.P. Queen. Tell me, who do we call when 999 is the enemy? Explain the erratic actions of the agitated people. Steam this food for thought. Reasons why the anger simmers. Ready to boil over, they administered a Rodney King-style beating to a 16-year-old girl. Turning the heat up, the place inevitably got burnt. Oh! Alright, greetings. My name is Nat Nye, spoken word, meta scientist, meta artist. I'm here on the Uncle Drummer Show. Big things are going on, eh? This next verse is called Poetic Alchemist. How to console a prim and proper mother who wants no trouble, just the simple life, hers filled with strife. She wanted better for her children, but the blueprint she had written was set for the palm lines of a doctor, lawyer, or teacher. She did not envisage this. But you cannot combat that what the divine decided, what grew inside her womb. Doctors, mystified by the newborn's battle cries, my mum unknowingly declared war on the system when she gave birth to me. Her son's a renegade, with a high-grade brain filled with grenades, with a pen as a pin. Words explode when I write. But powers will be left dormant if not tapped. That's why I stay sharp with my craft. This art takes the graft of continuous training. That's why I've no time nor energy to spare, working for a major corporation on a minimum wage. So I live on the edge of survival, surviving of lyrical bars, on my tummy starves. All this to keep the dream alive. Why? Because life is too short. And I'd rather be grounded with thousands of stories to tell than a bitter old man full of, well, I shoulda, woulda, coulda been, but I had to get that money. Plus, what choice is there when your heart pounds the sounds of an African war drum and you realise your potential when you saw your reflection in the sun? And this great yearning for knowledge got my mind following the sun's light around the world, meaning I've been everywhere. Till I realised there are places where even the sun don't reach, there will always be more to learn. In this age of information, I'm so connected, my head's practically plugged into the socket of the internet, but my brain processes faster than a faster supercomputer processor. I observe waves shift into shapes at superluminal rates, which is why I professed to be a professor at this poetry profession. It became an obsession when I began to see human interaction in sequences of syllables. This is the process of poetically decoding the matrix. It was then that I decided to make sense of the chaotic nature of the nebula that exists in my mind, a multitude of ideas, structured like atoms, clashing and smashing, causing the creation of poetry to happen. As I studied the matters of dark matter, I learnt to control the dark energy that makes galaxies spin. This incredible ability the Creator invested in me to turn words into worlds comes with great responsibility. Now I write to elevate minds to levels of Einstein. I am the Poetic Alchemist. This magic script is from a master's mitts. What I do with the literary elements, chemically bonded metaphors, rhymes with the poetic essence at its core. Cha! I create compounds where the truth barks symbols for the subconscious to understand.
Fire!
Fire! Lava!
Fire! Lava! Smash!
Lava! Jeez!
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! It's the last on the EP. Well, not last on the EP, I just said that wrong. It is on the EP, but follow it to you anyway. Poetic Temple. It's the name of the EP.
That one, what's that called?
Poetic Temple.
Poetic Temple, yeah?
Poetic Temple. This one's called the Poetic Temple.
Okay.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! The song and night, my soul, I'm charged. The day's a feast, and I'm ready to eat. But, why am I not tired? Artists work 24/7. I use sleep as an opportunity to astral body travel through Stargate portals. Waking up in the middle of the night to write the scenes I've seen in my dreams. I'll go deep. Like a submarine, my purpose is to dive below the surface. To be specific, the great depths of the Atlantic is where I spend my dream time studying the remnants of Atlantis. But before I go further, let me explain why I don't have materialistic visions of popping Dom Perignon and using women's asses as champagne glasses. I've been past this since the feeling of fasting grasped me, left it empty. The opening of a black hole within my insides when I tried to do a 9 to 5, get drunk on a Friday night and live a generic life. Listen, we are here for a greater purpose. So I was faced with standing at a place of no return at the edge of the cliff. I looked down from the frightening heights of Mount Everest, took a deep breath in preparation, before hurtling into the infinity of the rabbit hole for this eternal journey to master the inner and outer worlds. Has no destination, but a free spirit yearns for more, so I must explore, so I meditate. Sat in a Buddha pose, I rose, blooming into a higher state of being. The ancient gods recognized me as one of them, so before me they opened up multi-dimensional gateways. A brain operating at 10% of its capacity cannot get to grips with concepts beyond this physical paradigm. How I appear in more than one place at the same time. My mind began to expand as the unknown strands of my DNA unraveled mysteries from my ancestry, rooting throughout history to the first divine beings that walked this planet. I can now fathom the power I feel every time I write. A solar ball of flames rotates in my palms. Now I'm able to create. Listen, we are too great to self-deprecate. What fear is there when you see yourself macro-sized in the skies? We are stars on earth in human form. And my poetry is a mirror to show you just how much you all shine. Bless. One love.
Bless up, bless up, bless up. Bless up. Mr. Nat Nye's in the building.
Yeah. Uncle Drummer Talk Show. Yeah,
yes.
Follow the movement.
Bless up.
Alright, it's Golden Blue on the Uncle Drummer Show, and by special request from Nat Nye, this is Peaceful Vibes. I don't want no more corruption, No more destruction and no more pain. I just want to stop all the fighting. See people uniting in a peaceful way. When bad vibes try to push you or try to pull you down, you've got to lift your head up, spread love to all around. Peaceful days and peaceful nights. Peaceful people with peaceful vibes. Peaceful ways for us to live our lives. I'll be peaceful before I die. I can see a world that is changing. Many are engaging in technology, but all I see are traditions ruined. People being killed, oil spills in the sea. When bad vibes try to push you or try to pull you down, you gotta lift your head up, spread joy to all around. Peaceful days and peaceful nights. Peaceful people with peaceful vibes. Peaceful ways for us to live our lives. I'll be peaceful before I die. I wanna be peaceful. Make everything peaceful. I gotta stay peaceful when everything's peaceful. I wanna be peaceful, yeah. Make everything peaceful. I wanna be peaceful, yeah. Make everything peaceful.
Whoa.
That's it.
Whoa. It's a wrap.
Good facts.
It's a wrap.
Good facts.
Wonderful. Blessings, yeah?
Yeah. Good
Blessings.
Top way to end the show. Top way.
Blessings.
Uncle drama.